Hi, I'm Ray Rastelli, America's personal butcher. Today we're going to talk about our pork premium prime rib steaks. So we start with a pork prime rib. You can see this is pork that comes from the Pennsylvania Dutch Amish country. It has been completely trimmed. We've taken all the fat off it, but here's where the beauty starts. We take this beautiful prime rib and we cut these beautiful steaks right out of it. So I want you to see how beautiful that steak is. Look at all the marbling. Now I'm going to show you different ways to prepare it. So the first way is one of my favorite ways. So here's what we do. We take that prime rib of pork, cut a beautiful steak, and because it's completely boneless, and we've taken all the bones and all the fat out of it, you have this steak. But what I'm going to do is make it into actually pork prime rib boneless spare ribs. Real simple. You can be the butcher at home. Lay your steak out just like I did there. Cut 3 or 4 or 5 generous, nice strips, just like I've done here. They look like boneless prime ribs, as you can see. Look at how beautiful these are, all individual. Simple as that. Drop it in a bowl. Drop in some barbecue sauce. I'm going to toss that a little bit. Really simple for you to do this at home. Remember that boneless pork prime rib steak has been completely trimmed. Once you've got these covered with your barbecue sauce, here's how simple it is. Just take it and drop it right on that sizzling barbecue, on your grill, on your skillet. So many different ways to do it, but you're going to have the most incredible boneless pork prime ribs strips. And this is that finished product. Look at how beautiful each and every one of these are. This is a meal fit for a king. And once you try my specialty, which is these boneless prime pork rib spare ribs, you will never go back to any other spare rib. One of the easiest, one of my favorites, pork prime rib fajitas. Let me show you how simple this is. It's a great Tuesday night, Wednesday night, something easy. My grandkids love this because they also love the things I mix into it. So let me show you how simple it is. When you get these beautiful pork prime rib steaks at home, of course, this is what they look like. You all see the marbling in there. Now here's what I like to do with that steak. I just like to take that and cut it into thin strips, right? Nothing thick, but nice and thin that's going to cook really fast, really quick. So you can be the butcher at home. You can do exactly what I've done. Really simple. Look at how simple this is. Because remember, it's all boneless. Now get your skillet nice and hot, which is what I've got here. I've got some peppers and onions, which I'm just going to drop right on top of there. Now, to get them sauteing nice and easy, you know things are going well when you hear that sizzle. Then, of course, just drop those pork prime rib strips right on top of there. You're going to see in a matter of minutes, they're going to cook through. They're nice and thin, but they're going to be tender. They're going to be juicy. And it's simple because it's premium pork prime rib. Now, when it's all done, and it's only going to take a few minutes, really, to just toss that around, here's our finished product. So this is what my kids and grandkids love. Just take that, whether it's on tacos, fajitas, maybe it's just over a platter, just as it is. I love to do it on my tacos, just like this. A couple of pieces, a little bit of that peppers, a little bit of that onions. Look at how beautiful that is. And of course, I'm going to finish it off with a little bit of sour cream right on top. And you know what? I've got a meal that everyone's going to love, and it goes a very long way. This was a half of one of those ribeyes, so you're going to be able to get 2 very large tacos out of this. Pork fried steak. It's kind of a favorite any time of year, but think about the fall when it starts to get a little bit chilly, leaves are falling off the trees, and you want something a little more hearty. Here's what you do. Of course, you're going to get these pork premium ribeye steaks already cut. And all you've got to do is take your premium pork ribeye steak, just like I did here. I like to use some cellophane right on top, and then get your mallet and just start pounding it out. Now, because they're 6 ounces, these are going to be really big. Remember I said these are going to be really big? Take a look. Once you're finished pounding, this is going to be a meal that will easily feed 2, but this is how simple it is. And look at how big and beautiful this is at this point. Now, it's real simple. Take your flour, dredge it in flour. One side, other side. Take that, drop it in your egg wash. One side, other side. Now into your panko breadcrumbs, or whatever type of breadcrumbs you like. Get it nice and coated, both sides. I want you to see how beautiful this is before it goes into my air fryer. My air fryer is going to be set at 400 degrees. It's going to take about 12 minutes. Just drop it in the air fryer. Take that air fryer, go right into the air fryer, set it, and here's what you get. 12 minutes later, we're going to pull out our pork fried steak. It's crispy, it's big, it's beautiful. It's a meal actually for two out of one of these beautiful pork ribeye steaks. And of course, if you like a little bit of country gravy, you can drop some of that right on top as well. A meal for the fall or any time of year. Pork Parmesan, an Italian favorite. Simple as this. Just like you did your pork fried steak, you take your piece of pork, you pound it out. You then wash it through your flour, your egg wash, and of course your breadcrumb. Once you're finished with that, you drop this in your air fryer for, again, about 12 minutes at about 400 degrees. Now, while that's cooking, what I like to do is I like to take some of my gravy or sauce, whatever you call it in your house, put it in the bottom of that casserole dish, right? Just cover the bottom so we've got a nice coating on the bottom there, right? And again, in just a few minutes, my pork is going to be ready. When that timer goes off, I'm going to take my pork right out of that fryer, and look how big this is. Look at how crispy this is. And you can see this is going to go right now into that casserole type dish. Drop that in there. I'm going to take some more of that gravy. I'm going to go right up on top of that. I'm going to cover that nice and complete, so it's completely covered. It's really simple to do. You can do this with any sauce that you prefer at home. Then I take some of my Parmesan cheese. I'm going to drop that right on top. Simple as that. And if you like a lot of cheese or a lot of little cheese, it's up to you. And of course, then a little bit of Italian parsley to finish that off. This is actually something, it's simple, it's easy. And now I'm just going to take this dish and I'm going to drop it in the oven. It's only going to take about 8 to 10 minutes. If your oven's set at 350, all you really want to do is melt that cheese and get that sauce hot, because remember, your pork is already completely cooked. When you pull this out of the oven, your family's going to think you've been working for hours to make them one of the most incredibly delicious pork parmesans. One pork ribeye steak turned into a meal for two, our pork parmesan. Let me show you a way to really elevate these pork prime ribs. Make your guests go crazy. So whether it's a holiday meal or whether it's just a Sunday dinner, really, really simple. Take that pork prime rib steak, pound it out just like I did here. So I'm going to show you two of my stuffing methods. The first one is our caprese stuffing. Just take tomato, piece of mozzarella, another tomato, another piece of mozzarella, and a little bit of basil right on top. And you can see how beautiful that looks. Just imagine what it's going to taste like. It's really simple. Stuffing pork chops are somewhat difficult. Rolling them is really simple. So I just like to take that, roll that over here, continue to roll, continue to roll. Now I don't need toothpicks. I don't need anything to hold it together because that's going to stay together. I drop that right on my baking dish. And of course, I love taking my garlic Parmesan butter. I like dropping some of that right on top. And I want you to see those beautiful herbs that will melt right into that beautiful pork stuffed mozzarella and tomato. Now let's move on to something a little bit more fall-y. And that's, of course, our apple stuff. So we've got some apples that we've actually sauteed a little bit, put a little bit of brown sugar in there. And we're going to take them and drop them inside of our pounded pork ribeye steak. We've got a little bit of Gruyere cheese. That's going to go right on top of that. And then, of course, we've got our maple cinnamon brown sugar butter. Now, I like to just drop just a dollop inside, but then I'll finish the outside. Again, just like I did with the earlier one, just take that, roll it over, tuck the sides in, continue to roll. And you know what you've got? You've got the most incredible, beautiful stuffed with apple and Gruyere cheese. And again, that
brown sugar, maple, butter on top. These are going to go into your oven at about 375 for about 20 to 25 minutes. You're going to pull them out and you're going to be amazed. More importantly, your guests are going to be thrilled.
Our newest creation, pork bites. Let me show you how simple it is. Remember, you're going to take these beautiful pork ribeye steaks. And again, when they come to you, they're just like this. They're completely boneless. Then you're going to take it and cut them into nice size cubes. So I like to actually just cut this into thirds because that creates a nice cube. And then just go straight across and I grab some beautiful cubes just like this, as you can see, so that they're just the perfect size. Really simple to do because remember, they're all completely boneless and trimmed. Now, once you get that done, what you're going to do is take some cornstarch. We're going to take a little bit of our seasoning, our signature seasoning that you actually can get with Rastelli's. Whisk that together in there. And then all you're going to do is really drop your pork bites into there, just like I'm doing here. Just go ahead and coat them in that cornstarch. Make sure that they're tossed around in there. We've got lots of cornstarch covering them. And they're little white snowflakes, you can see. And all we do at this point is take these. We're going to drop these right into our air fryer. We're going to set our air fryer at about 400. And in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to pull them out of the air fryer. Now that they've been in the air fryer for about 8 to 10 minutes, let's just pull them out. You'll see how beautiful they are, how crispy they look. And then I'll show you one of the things that I love to do with them. So I'm going to drop a few into this bowl. You can see how beautiful they are. They get brown and incredibly tender. And we're going to drop a few in this bowl because I'm going to make 2 different flavors. So now that we've got them in our bowl, we're ready to toss them. So you can see how beautiful they are. I'm going to take my teriyaki, which is a little bit sweeter. It's a sesame teriyaki. Just go ahead and coat them. In the other, I'm going to take my bang bang sauce, which you can get. I'm going to drop that in for somebody who likes things a little bit spicier, a little bit of heat. And once I've got them coated, all I'm really going to do is just toss them around. So just toss that around in your bowl, just like I've done here. Remember, these are nice and hot. They've come out of the air fryer in just about 10 minutes. They're going to be juicy. They're going to be tender. And of course, with our cornstarch coating and our Rastelli signature seasoning on top, you are going to be amazed at how incredibly tender and juicy they are. And of course, here comes our bang bang, which has got a little bit more spice on it for those of you who are a little spicier in life. And this is wonderful whether it's gone over a starch, a veg, or maybe even just a salad. Look at all that protein going over top of that salad. That's something that was done in literally minutes. You were the butcher at home. We made it really simple. Barbecue favorite, pork kebabs. Let me show you how simple it is. Remember, you get these beautiful 6-ounce pork ribeye steaks just like this. Now here's all you do. I take this steak and I cut this into 8 cubes. And the reason I cut it into 8 cubes is because I want to make 2 beautiful kebabs. So all I do is split it right down the middle. Then I just take 4 cubes off of this side. I take 4 cubes off of this side. And you want to cut these, the size of these will be perfect if you cut them in 8s. And then you just make your kebabs. So I've used cherry tomatoes, I use some onions, I use some sweet peppers. And all I do is take that skewer right onto there. That piece of pork is going to be incredibly tender. It's going to be really juicy. A little bit of onion next. Now, one of the things I did before I actually put this meat on here was I took the skewer, the wooden skewer, and I soaked it in water just for about 15 or 20 minutes. Soaking it in water will keep it from burning once you put it back onto your grill. Now I'm going to put my 4th piece finally on that kebab. I'm going to finish it with a cherry tomato. And I have just made 2 beautiful pork kebabs out of 1 of our pork steaks. And of course, drop them on your grill just like I did here. A little bit of barbecue sauce. Continue nice and slow. Remember, don't cut those veggies too big or too thick because they will not cook at the same time your pork will. So if you keep those veggies about the similar size, it's a great little tip. Take that, drop that right onto maybe a beautiful salad like I've done here, or just make it a handheld that your friends can eat just like this.
Thanks for joining me today. Premium Pork Ribeye Steaks, made 7 different ways. Simple, easy, but most important, delicious.